Alright lads, SSR Kenpachi is the newest SSR available on Bleach Soul Resonance. He is currently out now in all versions of the game. Global unfortunately took like 4 or 5 hours extra. But with that, we are here with one goal in mind. Of course, the summon Kenpachi, and hopefully we can get him relatively early. Because when it comes to my summons, it's been like... Oh, there we go! First multi! That's what I'm talking about. I was literally going to say, it takes like 7 multis plus before I do finally get the SSR. So getting a character early would be very nice to see. And we did do it. There we go. Next comes a battle for survival. Nice little cheeky smile, Kenpachi. We are here. Can we get a 2-1? Can we get greedy? Probably not. It's fine though. But that is actually really good because it saves me now like 7 multis. And we can spend that on the next character, potentially Grimjow, in 3 weeks' time, right? So only 1 copy, but that's perfectly fine. So now you know what we're here for. Let's go ahead and get the weapon stamp 2. Hopefully we can get this also early. Wait, first multi again? No way! Let's go. That's actually really cool. Again, when it comes to summoning on this game, you're guaranteed in, very small amount of summons, right? But it is... Oh, what? 2 in 1? Okay, we'll take it. That's my first ever 2 in 1. This has been insane luck. Luck that I've not seen yet on this game. But I'm someone that is, for the most part, going to get every new character. But it is nice getting them early because it does mean I can save Jades for the next character. Alright then, so we finally have Kenpachi at max level. Right now, I will say, I wasn't a big fan of his artwork when it was data mined, and this, for the most part, is the same art that we did have around 2 to 3 years ago, but it does look much better now, especially with the aura effect he does have behind him, which I think looks really cool. With that said, though, Kenpachi is going to be a slash type for assault units, so what this does mean, unfortunately, by default, he is going to be compared to the character that most of us started the game with, that being Bankai Ichigo. And I will say right from the get-go, unfortunately, Ichigo does look to be a significantly better character. But why exactly is that? Well, I think right now Kenpachi's kit is fairly simple, but a bit too... It's trying to do too much, and because of that, it means that his damage output is kind of a little bit lackluster. To quickly explain the character, though, his core passive is all about cleave. So Kenpachi's special attack, spiritual pressure burst, and ultimate are sever attacks. And anytime they attack the enemy, you are going to apply sever points, which when you do inflict 100 sever points, the enemy then will be inflicted by cleave. And then if you continue to use attacks that can inflict sever, you then deal 20% more damage to that enemy, and it does count as element damage. So it's a bit weird. Gin, for example, was all about element damage, and Kenpachi isn't entirely all in on element damage, but that is something about his kit. But with that, if we do have a look at the character's passive boost, or number 1, for example, in this case, when using special attacks, spiritual pressure burst, or ultimate, the damage taken is reduced by 20%. Remember, this character was leaked before, and the number was significantly higher, so they did lower it here. But still, lowering the damage that you can take, I think, is nice. His second passive did see a quite big change, right? Originally, it was mentioning that it was increasing his crit rate. That is no longer the case, and instead, every 2 seconds, you are going to gain 2.5% attack, stacking at 10 times. So 25% attack boost after 20 seconds is overall pretty good. Not as good as it was when it was leaked, but still good nonetheless. And then his third boost is that when Kenpachi defeats an enemy, he gains 1 point of Frenzy. Now, Frenzy is the way this character is going to be dealing special attacks. And after you do defeat an enemy, the next 15 seconds, your special attack is increased by 30%. If we have a look at his 2 main skills, however, we have his technique. So in a way, this character's technique works very similar to the base Shikai Ichigo that we did have at the start of the game, the SR version, where he does have 1 technique, but he does have an additional, more powerful technique once you do get your spiritual pressure to max. And then his ultimate is fairly simple. Once you use his ultimate, it will take off the eye patch. You will then enter the War Wraith state, where you get to do a bunch of extra attacks, and then also deal a final blow, which does do potentially a lot of damage. Now, if you are wondering how we have built the character, at least on day number 1, with the limited resources that we can use at this current time, it will likely get better on my account over the coming days. But again, we are using the character at max level, so 100, weapon level 100. His skills, for the most part, are all maxed out besides his counter. And then when it comes to the gear, so the first gear is actually a pretty good piece, truth be told. We're going with attack percentage. We also have element damage bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack. Really good piece for the first day to have, I will be honest. And then we did 6-star, which does increase the amount of special attack damage he can do, which is pretty decent. Remember, Kenpachi does have his own set, which is increasing his attack by 20% and also crit damage, which is actually really cool. The second piece, we are going with crit rate. And then through this piece, we're getting more crit rate, crit damage, and a little bit of extra element damage bonus. Because again, that's something this character kind of wants. And then the third piece is probably my weakest piece. We are going with the attack percentage here. And we do get a bit more crit damage. But I would like to have more ultimate charge rate on this character. And maybe extra attack and also extra crit rate. The character kind of wants, again, a lot of pieces here. Crit damage, crit rate, attack percentage, ultimate charge rate, and also element damage. And then, of course, we are also using his core stamp, which is actually really good, specifically in the second part of the effects, where each basic hit increases the damage of your ultimate by 10%, stacking up to 10 times. So your Kendo ultimate basically does double damage, which is actually, again, really powerful for a character like this. And I really do like the artwork too. So taking Kenpachi into the practice range just to try him out, showcase his attacks once more, but also just to showcase the damage output that we are looking at base level. So I like to go against a level 70 enemy and do a 2-minute timer, but quickly it's showcasing his attacks, right? He's actually a very flashy unit. I very much do like the animations, especially when compared to his original character, but I think what you're going to see for the most part is that his damage output is kind of lacking here. So when this character does complete a basic attack combo on the final hit, you will notice in the bottom you do gain a frenzy point, and it does cap out at 2. So the idea is that you do want to get 2 frenzy points, and then you want to use his special attack, which you just hold down, and he does a bunch of slashes. It's a very auto attack. Like, all I'm really doing there was hold down the button, and then with that it does charge his spiritual pressure gauge. Additionally, when you do use his special attack, or sorry, his technique, it also does give you a frenzy point. So all you have to really do is use his technique, basic attack combo once, and then you do get to let off his special attack. If you do it twice, the gauge goes full, and then you get to use his second technique, which does combo into 3 basic attacks, which again is really cool. That's when you get to use his ultimate, which does do a pretty cool attack. Takes off the eye patch, and in this case, all you can really do at this point is use your basic attack, where you get the slams 10 times, as much times as you want to actually, but it does cap out at 10 at the bottom there. And then you get to use the ultimate. Again, a really cool animation, man. Really cool animation, but in that case, we did 1,000,000 damage without any buffs, so pretty decent. Now let's actually try the rotation again, this time with Byakuya and Kisuke involved. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is reset, and now do a 2-minute timer to see how much damage that we can do in 2 minutes against our dummy Kisuke. So here you go. We're going to start off with Byakuya, because what I found is that if we do Byakuya first and then also Kisuke, if we do the Byakuya battlefield skill every time we use a special attack with Kisuke or a technique, when it comes to Kenpachi, when it comes to using his special attack, we are going to be able to instantly switch back into Byakuya. So here we go. When the special attack is off, when that is done, let's go back to Byakuya. So that's something that you're not able to do if you don't start off with Byakuya's skill. And also if you don't use your battlefield with Byakuya when it comes to using Kisuke's attacks. So with that, we go back into Kenpachi. Use this special attack once more. In this case, we now have our enhanced technique. Back into Byakuya. We're going to just reset the buffs here. There we go. Now Byakuya's ultimate can go off. I don't really like using Byakuya's ultimate, truth be told, but it's kind of fine. Let's go and do it now, actually, just to get that extra bit of damage output. I'm not going to do a full rotation with Byakuya. Just going to use his 3 attacks here, and then go into Kenpachi. So the damage here is 1.2 mil. That's actually really good. We'll do a bunch of slams here. Let that go to 10. Or the second the ult goes off, we're going to use it. And then see how much damage we are doing now. So we did 1 mil in the first part. 3.3 million there. That's actually really good. Let's go back to Kisuke to keep the boost going. Back to Byakuya. And then back to Kenpachi. There we go. Use his technique, or sorry, his special attack. Into the technique. Back into the special attack. So his gameplay is relatively straightforward. You're just going to use your special attack into technique. Unfortunately, I was on Kenpachi a bit too long. I think that's one problem that Kenpachi does have, is that you spend a bit too long on him, that you kind of forget to do the burst. But I think that always happens whenever you do a new rotation or a new team. You get used to it eventually, right? And then we get to, unfortunately, you get to use the ult again. So what I'm seeing here is that the damage output is not nearly as high as Ichigo's. Ichigo's is a very simple character where his damage output is fairly solid for the most part until you get to the ultimate. Once you get the ultimate, in those 10 seconds that you have with Ichigo, you just do so much damage with the technique and the special attacks. And then when you let off your ultimates, it does upwards to like 5-7 million damage at base boundary. No dupes invested into him. With Kenpachi, I think if we had a little bit of extra, what do we call it? Ultimate charge rate, we could have got his ultimate off again, and that would have allowed us to potentially get an extra 3 million. But first rotation that we did do, we're doing 19 million. Now, on average, my characters do around 25 million. You know, I'm not upset or anything or regret something on this character. I think he's a fun unit. I think he's an alternative character for those that don't have Ichigo. But to keep it simple, Ichigo is the better unit. But if we have a look at how Kenpachi is dealing damage here, again, most of it does come from the ultimate. In this case, I think I did hit a critical, which is why I did do a bit more damage. His technique is one of the main ways he is going to deal damage here. 2.7 million. We did get to use it 6 times. His weapon stamp does add extra damage on top of it. So his weapon stamp is very important to have. I think every character, regardless of the character pretty much, you always want to have their weapon stamp. In my opinion, I wouldn't even pull for a character if I can't guarantee their weapon stamp. You just miss out on so much good effects and damage, especially with Kenpachi here, as it does add an extra 2 million damage. The element damage cleave anomaly adds 1.5 million. But you're seeing here for the most part, you know, there's just a lot of extra stuff here that just adds a bunch of millions of damage. You know, with Ichigo, a lot of the damage is clearly coming from the ultimate, the special attack, the technique. With Kenpachi, you kind of everything going on here contributing to his damage output. His ultimate, his technique, his weapon stamp, then his special attack, then the element damage, then the technique, then the extra ultimate, because there's 2 parts to it, then the basic attack. In a way, I think that's Kenpachi's biggest problem, is that he doesn't have one specific attack that can just deal ridiculous amounts of damage, like, for example, Ichigo does have. Instead, we have every part of his kit, which isn't even a bad thing, contributing to his overall 16 million damage output, but it is falling short compared to our other main DPS characters in the game. And again, as our first now limited slash unit, by default, he is going to be compared to Ichigo, and by default, that might mean Kenpachi is a bit lackluster. Alright then, so let's try that again. 2-minute timer, begin right now. We're starting off with Byakuya, going into Kisuke. Use the battlefield skill whenever we can. Then ultimate goes off. And then straight back into Kenpachi. Use his technique. That gives us 1 frenzy stack, where we're going to keep using our basic attack combo to get the second frenzy stack. And then we use a special attack. After that's done, we go back into Byakuya. Do our reset, where we get the damage boost again. And then back into Kenpachi. We get to use our special attack once more. That gives our enhanced technique. Back into Byakuya. We're repeating the rotation again. In this case, we are going to activate Byakuya's Bankai. Once more, I'm only going to do the short rotation of it, so I'm just going to do the 3 attacks and then hold down the attack button. Back into Kenpachi. Let's activate our ultimate. So much damage to this dude. Not a lot, to be fair. I don't think we got a critical there. So this is a big part about Kenpachi. I think he does some good damage here, but you don't see a big number, right? So Kenpachi's ultimate is also just weird because it's split into 3 different attacks. Again, some pretty good damage there. 4 million, so it is definitely possible. I think we got a crit there. Let's go back into Byakuya. Sorry, Kisuke. Well, we did end up go back into Byakuya, but it kind of didn't want it there. And then I don't think we have enough time right now in this 2-minute time frame. Maybe I could play Kenpachi a bit better. Again, it's day number 1, so do forgive me the rotation isn't the best. But it would be nice if we could get our ultimate off. Twice. Okay. Going decent right now. Let's just use the Bankai just to get an extra bit of damage output. Now, my Byakuya's not really worked on. I've been using all my resources in this game just to more so work on my limited characters. Yeah, we were so close to getting our ult off again. So in that case, though, when it comes to our damage numbers, Kenpachi did deal 18 million, and in total, we did deal 21 million. For games like this, damage is pretty much the end-all be-all. While I do like that some parts of Kenpachi does have a defensive effect, specifically his passive that does reduce the damage that he does take, ultimately that's been a big issue with Ichigo that I don't like about him is how easy it is for him to take damage. And when we don't have really good healers in this game, I feel like that could be an issue for that character long term. And I was kind of hoping Kenpachi would have that really offensive power and also defensive power that Ichigo does lack. Unfortunately, the defensive capability here with Kenpachi isn't really anything noteworthy, and offensively, Ichigo does gap Kenpachi by quite a large margin. 21 million damage overall. Ichigo, I'm pretty sure, would put up almost double that. So in total, as of right now, at least on day number 1, I'm not really sure how to feel about this character. While I'm impressed with the improvements this character did make over the last couple of so years, because again, he was playable in the very early playtest of Soul Resonance, we are at the current point right now in the game where I know more people are interested in a, strike full assault unit. We didn't need another full assault slash character. So to get that and to have him be in a way significantly underpowered when compared to Ichigo is a tad bit disappointing, I will be honest. I'm not even saying that we needed him to do 20 plus million damage more than Ichigo. I'm not saying we need to completely disregard Ichigo as a character, but I would have liked to have seen maybe similar numbers. That way you have an alternative option. Use Ichigo or Kenpachi. Both of them are going to put up good numbers. It really just comes down to preference, but right now I feel like Ichigo is just a significantly better character. But again, Kenpachi is quite a weird unit with the way you do have to build him, so maybe, it's only day number 1, and maybe in the coming days, the coming week, we might find a better way to build him, a better way to utilize his damage output, and maybe truth be told, in the future, he will get better with a new tactic unit. The way Byakuya is designed is, in a way, to be used with Ichigo, because Ichigo can get off a bunch of special attacks just by using his basic attack combo. If we do get a new slash-type tactic unit, maybe they are going to be designed in mind to be used with Kenpachi, in a way similar to how Tosha was a good unit, but had his powers fully unlocked with Aizen in the team. Maybe Kenpachi is going to see something similar, but in a way that could be copium for him not being that's good. I think out of all our full assault units thus far, he is our weakest of the limited characters. And that could be a good thing. If you yet to summon for this character and you do own Ichigo, you are completely fine skipping this character. Just save for Grimmjow or the next big unit. Maybe at this point in time, we did need a breather, a time to save for the next big thing, and Kenpachi pretty much allows that. But unfortunately for Kenpachi fans, that could be a tad bit disappointing. While we are going to get more Kenpachi characters in the future, 1000-year Blood War, Fullbring, that's quite a while away. So again, if we were to speculate on how to get this character better in the future, I think a new bond set for this character would be kind of cool to see. With every new limited character, Toshiro, Aizen, and also Gin, they did get unique bond sets for them. Kenpachi is kind of lacking something that could make him a bit unique, because right now I think most people are going to go with something like this that only offers an extra 15% damage. Gin gets extra element damage, he gets extra technique damage, and this also got recently buffed. Aizen gets more damage, then more battlefield damage, and then Toshiro gets more damage the more crit rate he does have. Kenpachi has none of this. So if there was a quick way to boost Kenpachi's damage output, it would honestly just be make a unique bond set for him, maybe increase some of the damage multipliers for this character's kit, maybe in the passive effect. I think his third passive here, 20% attack boost, I think could be a bit higher, maybe 50%, maybe 75%. I don't know, I feel like this is a bit low. And even again, from the defensive aspect, I would like to see this 20% go up to 50%. Because it's doing something, but it's not doing enough. And that's kind of Kenpachi in a nutshell. He's doing something, but he's not doing enough. So in the comments below, let me know what you lads think about Kenpachi. Did you summon for him? How are you feeling about him? I'm enjoying my time playing with him. Don't get me wrong. I'm having fun with him. I'm going to use him. Like I said, I'm pulling for every character in this game. I'm trying to get every unit, and I'm going to enjoy my time with them. I'm going to build them. But when it comes to trying to get like the fastest clear times, when it comes to trying to go as far in the Shroud Tower with slash characters, I'm probably going to stick to Ichigo. Let me know how you lads feel about Kenpachi though. I'll see you lads next time. Take care and peace.